Today I'm going to be taking a look at a show about a man who is perhaps proud to be right back in his hometown with his new family through old friends and new friends and perhaps even a bear. Through good times and bad times, it's true love that he shares. Yes, with his little Cheeto mustache face, we're taking a look at the Cleveland Brown Show to see was it actually good or was it actually bad, because this is one of the shows where I see just so many mixed reviews on how people actually feel like it. So I'm going to be taking a look at 3 random episodes that I just picked, out of the rabbit's hat, just 3 random episodes to see, is it actually that bad? And if you like content just like this, please make sure to like and subscribe. I upload almost every single day, and you don't want to miss it. And if you want a place where you can talk about your favorite games, movies, and shows, my Discord will be in the description. And if the content on here on YouTube just isn't enough for you, my Patreon will also be linked below. I got a lot of fun stuff coming there as well. Now let's finally take a look at the Cleveland Show. Now, the first episode that I took a look at was Dancing with the Stools, and I won't lie, these episodes are random in the fact that I have no idea what I'm getting myself into, but I do look at the titles and I'm like, that could be fun, right? Dancing with the Stools.
Oh boy, I'm wondering what I'm gonna get myself into. Are they gonna make a Dancing with the Stars parody and Cleveland's gonna go up there and shit his pants because of the stools?
That's what I'm expecting to happen, but this episode went in a direction I could never have foreseen. That's for sure. I did not expect incest desires. Yeah, not what I was expecting there. But either way, so this episode opens with Donna talking about how she was in Dancing with the Stools, which is just a Dancing with the Stars parody, and she continuously lost to her parents every single year. And we just get typical Family Guy jokes that I personally don't think are the most funny. I mean, it's just kind of whatever, like with Donna and her ex-husband dressing up as Osama bin Laden the year after after 9/11, and that's the entire joke. I told you it was too soon.
Brown. I told you it was too soon. I want a divorce.
And then he divorces her, which is just, I don't know, it's funny, but it's not gonna get me to actually laugh. It's just in my head, I'm like, oh, wow, that's 9/11. 9/11. 9/11 joke. Oh my gosh. Tragedy. Ooh. That's really all I feel about it at this point. I mean, who hasn't heard over 2,000 9/11 jokes in the past year of their life? I feel like it's just a common occurrence for everybody nowadays. So Cleveland and Donna, they now have to start training for this wonderful dance performance, and at the same time, Roberta, their daughter, has to watch Milo while they're doing all this training, and that's when I think we get a little bit better jokes. I mean, I kind of didn't care for the B-plot very much, but I do enjoy the beginning of it, where Roberta's like, oh, it can't be that hard to watch a baby, I can do it anytime! And they leave for 1 second, and then Milo's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go, play with some tinfoil in the microwave. And he leaves, which is very accurate to toddlers' innate desire to kill themselves. You have to baby-proof, like, a bunch of houses. Like, what's with their desire? Like, they'll look at a corner of, like, a little coffee table, and they'll just be like, and just purposely try to end everything right there. So, to see, somebody paint a joke or put a focus on the fact that babies really do like to have to kill themselves, just a little bit, I think it's kind of funny. So, Roberta keeps trying to get laid, and Milo keeps causing problems for her, and that's pretty much the entirety of her plot line. She slowly starts turning into her mother because she has to watch a baby and realizes how hard it is. So yeah, that was fine. Like, I didn't find it not entertaining. So we then have Cleveland and Donna practicing, and that's when Junior shows up and he's like, oh, hey, Dad. What are you doing? You shouldn't be dancing like that. Let me show you how it's done. And just starts dancing with Donna like a dancing freak, just getting real jiggy left and right, the ultimate amount of jig. And Donna immediately replaces Junior, and I don't know. I don't like Family Guy when it's using cutaways that don't matter or pertain to anything. That's why when I consume any Family Guy nowadays, I would much rather watch a cutaway compilation, because then the actual episode that has a real plot isn't just every 30 seconds a different fucking cutaway about a dolphin having sex with Chuck E. Cheese or something, Like, I don't care about that. So here in the Cleveland Show, there's no cutaways at all, which I can appreciate, but it leads to jokes like this, where fucking Donna, like, goes to, like throw up the baby powder or something, like, to make them happy or to tell Cleveland to leave, and it's apparently anthrax, and Cleveland's just like, no, 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 Donna, it's anthrax for my stinky, stinky feet.
Why do you have anthrax? For my feet, Donna, for my stinky feet.
And, like, that's the best we could come up with right now. I mean, it's kind of, like, objectively funny. Like, there's just anthrax raining down, and he just has to take the time to say, my stinky, stinky feet. Oh, no, 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 no. Like, I guess it kind of works as a joke, but I don't know. It's kind of hard when I'm watching a Family Guy clone that feels pretty much like Family Guy, just without the cutaways. So, they're not actually very good writers. So, maybe I'm judging it too harshly. This is the first episode I watched, and it just happens to be such an odd one. So, Cleveland gets very betrayed by the fact that Donna and Junior are going to be going together, and he's like, are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? So he goes all the way to Russia to get his own dance partner named Svetlana. Why is every single Russian dance partner that always comes into any show always named Svetlana? Do you ever question things like that? I don't know. I feel like that's a very common thing to happen. So that goes on, and then the B plot has more thrilling, awesome comedy, like Milo pissing himself.
Hey, how about a juice box?
Okay.
25.
Yes, everybody loves a great just baby pissing himself. What else could you possibly need to give you your comedy? Yeah, I don't know. They just kept doing jokes like that where Roberta is suffering or getting fat or Milo is doing horrible things inside of his pants. And I don't know, it's just kind of whatever, you know, I don't really care. I find the Cleveland story to be a lot more interesting until it gets a little bit odd. Cleveland, he's put in a corner. Svetlana, she sees this big man, and he's so happy. He's like, ha, 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 you know, and she's looking him up and down. She's like, oh, Cleveland, I need you right now, baby. Oh, let us put our lips together right now. And she goes in, she leans in for a big old devilish kiss, a little devil's tango on the big old worms. And Cleveland's like, no, Svetlana, I can't betray my family. You can't do this. Okay, so I'm thinking, oh wow, Cleveland's a stand-up guy, you know? He wouldn't leave his family to do anything truly that wrong, right? And then it cuts to Junior and Donna, and I don't know why they had to choose this plot line. Junior is dancing with her, dips her, and is just like, oh, you're such a good mother.
Run away with me!
And just gives her a bunch of big old wet smooches, two to be exact. And going into this, I know Cleveland says with my new family, and I didn't really think about his old family in the Family Guy show, but I was thinking that this was his birth mother, like, right away. I mean, it doesn't really make it better that it's his stepmom, but either way, like, irregardless, why does he want to kiss his mother? He's like, I could treat you better than that man, baby. I could treat you real good. I know you want it, Donna. You're my Donna after all. Like, I don't know why we had to just dive into an incest plotline. It's just so weird. I mean, like, some of the jokes are odd, but it's just, God, I don't know, it's so weird. Donna goes to Cleveland and tells him about what Junior has become, what Junior has begun to desire, Junior's innate desire for his own mother, and Cleveland does not initially seem that concerned. Like, he's just, oh, damn it, oh, are you serious? Are you serious? And then he goes to confront his own son about kissing his wife, which is such a weird concept. Oh yes, I had to confront my son about kissing my own wife and wanting my wife from me. And then Junior, he's got some balls on him. He's like, your wife, that's my Donna. That's my Donna. And in fact, you need to leave, Cleveland. You don't have what it takes to be a Dancing with the Stools star. And Cleveland, he starts to leave before he has the odd realization of that's my wife. And so he goes in and he confronts Junior and tells Junior to just bat off, to get away. It's my wife, and he's not leaving her for Junior to just come in and be with his own mother. That's just very odd, and it's also odd that Junior's like 14, so, you know, it's just It's just a very odd thing going on here. So Junior, he now goes to the performance where Cleveland and Donna are performing together, obviously because Junior got a little bit too freaky, a little bit too incestual to, be with his mom at the time. And so he goes there and he's like, everybody stop. And he stops the music. He stares one look at Donna and he's like, this man can't do enough for you. I can do more for you, baby. And he proposes to Donna.
Right now, I'm gonna let the world know how I feel.
Oh, God.
So, Donna Tubbs Brown, will you marry me?
And that was the first time that I was revealed that that was the stepmom. You know, I guess that's what I get for choosing random episodes. But either way, I was so relieved when she said stepmother, but that doesn't make it inherently better. Like, this is a woman who has definitely, like, coddled you and taken care of you in a way that you are not supposed to find sensual. So Donna says no, and then they hit, like, the stankiest jig on each other because they decided to do the concert together, where Donna's just, you know, rubbing her big old fat ass cheeks all over Junior the entire performance, and Junior's thinking, yeah, I treat you like a mommy, but who am I getting that double cheeked up Thursday over here? It's just a little bit odd, to say the least. Like, it's so weird, man, the choices they decide to make with this episode. Like, they were going in a pretty good direction. I would have been perfectly fine with just the big climax of the episode being Cleveland and Svetlana going up against Donna and Junior without any incestual concepts going on, and maybe Cleveland, like, has to, like, jump up, like, for a fucking, like, catch, like, to catch, like, Svetlana's gonna catch him, and then he jumps up and, like, crushes Svetlana, and her spine breaks in half, and he's like, you know, I don't know, something like that over Junior having a innate desire for his mother. And it doesn't help that when they get home, and it's revealed that Junior and Donna only got 4th place, and then Junior takes one look at his sister Roberta, and he's like, oh, you're looking mighty fine, girl. Like, why, Junior? Why did you become like this? Is Junior a freak in every single episode? Is this just a common character trait with Junior? I don't know, but I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of Junior's desires here. So yeah, that's pretty much the episode for you. I left out some of the stuff with the B plot with Roberta slowly turning into the mom. That was just okay. It was entertaining, but not really much to say about it. The main plot was really good for like the first 10 minutes, and then they just kind of put so much attention into this incest plot, and some of it was a little bit funny, like Cleveland almost leaving his entire house and just leaving his life, going and buying an apartment just because Junior was like, that's my Donna now, boy. Like, it's just a little bit odd, but I still found it to be a little bit funny. Some parts of it were definitely funny. So if I was to rate this episode 1 to 10, I would probably give it a solid 6 out of 10. I would say it's slightly better than average. It is some things that I definitely liked. Sure, the plot idea was very disgusting, very gross, and I was not a fan of it, but they did do some things right with it, so I'm not gonna just hate on it and say it was the worst thing ever. It's definitely just slightly better than average. Taking a look at the episode Die Semihard, and you're probably thinking, Die Semihard? Is it a Die Hard parody? And it is. You were right to guess. I know that's a very hard thing to guess based off the title, but you, my friend, you knew. And that's why I picked this episode, because I figured it was going to be about Die Hard, so I was like, oh yes, that'll tickle my giblets just right. How could they possibly fuck up a Die Hard parody? Do they? Do they? Will they? Let's find out. So the episode opens with Cleveland and his family all doing a nativity scene, and Cleveland's like, let me tell you about one of the greatest Christmas stories of all time. And Milo's all like, don't tell me it takes place in the year 1988, and he's like, we're going back to the year 1988. Do you guys consider Die Hard to be a Christmas movie, or just a movie that takes place around Christmas? Because, I don't know. I mean, like, if you compare it to, like, Home Alone, You know, does it really feel like a Christmas movie? Not necessarily, but I guess it's up to interpretation of what you truly want it to be. Just a little bit odd. So Cleveland, he's riding on the plane, he's going to that big event, he's going to do that thing that they refer to as a Die Hard. And there's really nothing too interesting to talk about for the initial parts of the episode other than a guy telling him to make sure that he takes off his shoes and is just barefoot. So that's interesting nonetheless. He gets to the event, or he gets to California, I should say, first. And I don't know, it's just kind of like some lazy jokes. Like, some jokes are really good, and then there's a joke like this where Cleveland gets off the plane and it's just two gay guys hugging each other like, oh, I waited so long for you. And then Cleveland's like, California.
I've missed you so. Oh. I know. California.
And that's the entire joke. Like, okay, that's cool, I guess, whatever. It's just really lazy. Like, if you're gonna attack gay people, at least be like South Park and be bold and do something really crazy, so that even people who are homosexuals could laugh at it, because it's so over the top. Here it's just Cleveland staring at them and just being like, California. Like, that's just so fucking weird. Like, why even add that to the episode? It's just not funny. So Cleveland, he goes to the convention center, he meets one of the heads, and he's like, you're gonna die. We then get introduced to all the villains arriving, and the villain in this case is the big bear with a big old goatee, and they decide to add in this joke where there's this woman on this mobile scooter, and she falls off the truck, and she's like, I've fallen and I can't get up, and she's just obese, and they just sit there and laugh at her for a while. Also a very interesting joke choice. I don't know. They do some really weird, like, fat jokes in this episode that are like, I don't know, they're so stupid that it actually comes full circle and it's funny. Like, when a joke is so unbelievably bad that it's actually kind of good. They have a lot of those thrown in here, which I can definitely admire. Cleveland goes to meet his old friend, and they do a coke joke where he's just inhaling that shit, but he's going a little bit too long, man. He's just like, ugh. You know, he's just getting that good inhale. Oh my god, I'm gonna pass out. But yeah, he was getting that good inhale, that good yayo, that good snow, everything he could possibly need in his life. So he's coked out, he leaves the room, Cleveland gets to see Donna again, how exciting, how thrilling, and then he takes off his shoes and he starts doing some nasty, dirty things with his feet, like just fondling his wife's face with his toes. Yes, there's nothing I want to see more. Imagine just coming off your 12-hour shift at the oil field, your back is breaking, you're in pain, and you're like, oh dear, I wonder what's on the telly today. Oh yes, the Cleveland show. Oh, this will make everything go away. What is he doing with his wife? Why is he putting his feet inside of her nostrils and lips? Oh no! You know, it's just a little bit odd. Unless you're into feet, you like that foot tussy, then this is probably delightful for you. So then the bad guys, they invade the convention and they start, you know, holding everybody at gunpoint, and Cleveland, with his feet, he says, oh no, no, oh no! With his feet on his face, which I thought was kind of funny, a little bit interesting.
Terrorist! Oh no! Ah!
So then Cleveland starts his onslaught and his attack, and the big woman who was on the scooter, who said that she fell and she can't get up, she is the initial one that they send to attack Cleveland at the ice machine, and the joke that they decide to run with it is just so odd, because she's like, oh, an ice machine? Oh geez, I hope it's next to a vending machine, because I am fucking huge!
I hope it's next to a vending machine, 'cause I'm huge!
Like, who says that about themselves? Like, I can't fathom. Like, unless you're just, like, the most comfortable in your skin, like, you haven't had a single ounce of Ozempic enter your body. But, dear lord, like, I can't imagine, like, going to, like, a fucking Red Lobster and just staring at a fucking lobster and just being like, ew! God, I hope I gain 18 pounds because I am big! You know, it's just very odd, but it was so stupid that it actually made me laugh. She goes there, gets brutally murdered by Cleveland, as expected, and then we get some Medea jokes, which I've never seen any of the Medea movies, just never really had an interest in them, but their design for Medea here is to just be big and go around and just rip ass everywhere.
And y'all know they ain't too tight to start with. I'm outrageous!
And I did not like that very much. She just rips stanky ass all over the food, and she's like, I'm outrageous! Like, is that how she behaves in the movie? Does she just go around, like, ripping massive stink on everybody? Just be like, I'm outrageous! I don't know. I don't really know what to expect. That's just a little bit odd. So then Cleveland, he's now on the roof, and he's in a bit of a shootout. I will say the shootouts for the majority are fine. They're animated well. Cleveland, he runs into this, like, little collar, and he needs to go down this elevator shaft, and he's looking at his strap of his gun, and he's going to use it to hold himself while he shimmies down, and he's like, oh, this can only hold 200 pounds. I should be good then. And then he falls down the shaft, and he's like, I'm fatter than I said I was. And that's the entire joke, as he's falling and barely manages to survive. And again, that joke is really fucking stupid, but it's so stupid that it's kind of funny. I can't fault them for that because it got me to just release a little bit of a chuckle, a little bit of a laugh. I was enjoying myself, so, oh yes, it was fine. So he does that. And then we just get a bunch more, like, Christmas jokes, like nonchalant Christmas jokes, where one of the characters, he puts a small gift inside of a box, and so one of the villains, he walks up and he's like, ooh, a small gift inside of a box. Oh, who would have thought that? That's funny. And then he fucking shoots the guy because it's stupid, because everybody wants the big gift. Everybody wants the big gift. Okay, just want to throw that out there. So then we get more of an epic gunfight with Cleveland and the bear and all of his lackeys. And remember how Cleveland is barefoot? This scene just made me so uncomfortable because he steps in a bunch of glass, and then he goes to the bathroom and goes to take out all the glass, and he like rips his bones out of his foot, and it made me uncomfortable. And then he steps on glass again, and he's like, oh screw it, and just keeps on going with it. And that just bothered me in so many different ways. Did not like that. And then you know that classic Cleveland scene where he's like, no, with the tub? That almost happens. He gets in a tub, and the tub almost falls out the window, and Cleveland, he says the iconic lines of his character, lines that you couldn't believe. He goes, no, but except he doesn't fall. Oh my god, the tension.
No.
The worry I had, was Cleveland going to fall? Was he going to fall out of the building? Oh my god, I had no idea. I was terrified, I was worried, but he managed to survive. Oh, tears. Sorry, I was just getting so into this. The Cleveland show, it just does things to me, you know? Does things. So, then obviously he just goes pretty hard with the bloodshed, basically kills everybody, and that's that's Die Hard for you. That's pretty much the entire episode. Yeah, this episode was definitely all right. You know, it's just a Die Hard parody. You can't really go fully wrong with it, especially if you're following basically the baseline of the story. They included a lot of jokes that weren't really that funny, but I'm a big fan of when things are so unfunny that they just come full circle and be funny. Like if I'm watching a really, really shit movie and it's so fucking bad, but they're trying so hard that it just turns into a comedy. That's the type of stuff I love. And the Cleveland show, you know, maybe they had 30 writers in the room just constantly thinking, okay, hot Cheeto mustache must fall in a bathtub. That's gonna get them. Okay, gay people, fat jokes. Okay. We could put a Die Hard episode together, even if they were just thinking that and weren't actually sitting there like, you know, okay, so how do you set up the joke? How do you tell it? No, don't set up the joke. Just say that she's really fucking obese and she wants to go to a vending machine. Like, it's just jokes like that, but they were funny, so I did like them. And I did enjoy the episode thoroughly. So if I was to rate this one 1 to 10, I would probably give this a solid 7 out of 10. It's not going to do anything so amazing to make me want to rank it any higher, but it's better than average, slightly better than the Dancing with the Stools, and told a decent story even with bad jokes, so I can admire that. Solid 7 out of 10 episode. The next episode that I took a look at was Fat and Wet, and basically the beginning of this episode is just every single pool stereotype you could ever expect, with the fat people out on the side, Cleveland enjoying his brand new pool, Roberta, she's wearing a bikini, so Cleveland walks up and is like, Roberta, you're wearing something that's a bit too revealing, what are you doing? And then it gets hit in the face with the football, and, you know, just classic pool shenanigans, you know, that sets up the pool concept of the episode well. And then Junior, he's snoring really late into the night, so they have to take him to the doctor, and he gets put in a CPAP machine, and then he's like, Mom, Dad, I was able to poop without tears. Oh, my world, it has changed. And then they do a weird joke where Junior's also wearing a thong.
One problem at a time, Donna.
Okay. So Junior's wearing a thong, and then he's not supposed to wear a CPAP machine to school, but he does. And then he gets on the staircase and he puts on a CPAP machine, and it's all like Popeye, where Popeye eats that like can of peas or whatever the fuck Popeye eats. And then he sprints up the stairs, he's all happy. And then there's just a group of children waiting for him. And I don't know, this is probably one of the nastiest fat jokes that I've ever heard. Who the fuck, like, in their right mind, like, see somebody obese and they're a bully and they want to make fun of somebody, and they look at this guy, he's big, and they're like, look at fucking Optimus Prime Rib over here. Like, what? Like, how do you even think of something like that? Can you imagine being a Transformers fan and you go to school wearing your Transformers shirt and somebody calls you Optimus Prime Rib? Yeah, that would just be soul crushing. Poor Junior. So Junior gets really depressed, and this causes him to want to go on a bender of eating lots of food to prove that fat people are fine by themselves, and he wants to make a vote to make calling people fat in any type of way a hate crime. So that's Junior's part of the episode. And then you have Cleveland. He's chilling in his pool, and Rolo, being a casual toddler doing toddler things, he starts to drown, and Cleveland defiles his body, not in a weird way, trying to save his life, barely manages to save him, and forms a new bond with Rolo. Good for them, how exciting. And then they decide to add a weird cutaway about E.T., where it's E.T. and he's grown up, and E.T.'s calling him like, Hurt, do you remember the blanket? Do you remember the phone? E.T., phone home. And that's the first cutaway that I've ever seen them do, and it was ultimately pointless. I just don't know why they feel the need to add cutaways. You could focus on telling your own story and be confident in your characters if they're written well. Just saying, just throwing that out there. So Cleveland has this new bond with Rolo, which is just immediately thrown away, which I thought was kind of lazy. It was like they wanted to do a thing where they like change Cleveland and Rolo's relationship for a little bit, but they just ran with it so fast because Rolo, he seems to hate Cleveland, and after Cleveland saves his life, he loves Cleveland. He's willing to defend her, and then literally in the next scene, it's just completely shattered and thrown away because Rolo finds out that Cleveland was supposed to be watching him, and Cleveland is responsible for him. And that's why Rolo even fell in the pool in the first place, because Cleveland didn't give a shit.
You realize I own you now, right? That you do, yes.
Like, that entire sequence lasted 2 minutes, and there was never even any Cleveland suffering. Like, I was expecting, like, Rolo to abuse him, ride him like a horse, just use him like a hog, you know? Just use him up. Like, I thought that was gonna be an interesting plotline, but they did nothing with it. So Junior and this really big woman, she was the same woman in the Die Hard episode who fell and was like, I fallen and I can't get up. They go on this big old journey to find the ultimate fat land because they lose their passing of the vote. So they go to Wisconsin, which boggled my mind. Is Wisconsin known for having like a ton of fat people? Is that like why they chose this? Like, is it just normal for everybody to be 600 pounds? I don't know. So they all go there, and it's like a mystical wonderland. Like if Nick Avocado was still big and beautiful and still just eating like a gluttonous pig, then this would be his land. It would be Nikocado land, because oh my god, they got walking treadmills everywhere. You could just walk everywhere. You could just get 3 gallons of butter poured down your gullet at any second. It's truly a big man's dream. It's everything they need. And then they realize that it's too much because they get shown too much food. And then they're like, oh man, maybe our weight problems stem from other problems. Really? Oh my goodness. So yeah, they realize that, and then Cleveland comes there and he gets called Pudgy, And that's pretty much the entire episode. I don't know. This plot was just kind of all over the place. I definitely didn't like this episode very much. There was just so much going on. Like, Rolo falls into the pool. Cleveland is friends with him because he saves him. Oh, Cleveland's not his friend anymore. Rolo's abusing him. Cleveland picks up his son and starts waterboarding him. I guess I left that out, what I was talking about. Cleveland picks up his son and starts waterboarding him to teach him a lesson, saying, I'm big, you're small, let me waterboard you so you'll fuck off. Yeah, a little bit odd. Junior and Big Woman, they go to Wisconsin. They eat all the food they could ever imagine, and then they realize that they have problems, and that's it. And then Cleveland, for some reason, goes to Wisconsin. Like, it's just so odd, the progression of all of this. I don't know. It was just very, very sloppy. A very sloppy story. If I was to rate this 1 to 10, I would probably give it a 3 out of 10. There's really nothing too good about this one. So was the Cleveland show good or bad? I honestly kind of liked it, and I'm only really scratching the surface with these episodes, so I can't give you a full picture, a full look into the entire series, but honestly, the majority of the time it was fun, and I feel like even when it wasn't very fun, it was so bad that it was kind of funny, which ultimately just revolves around to making it fun again. When something is so unbelievably shit and it seems like they tried, that makes it kind of funny. The biggest failure that any form of media can have is being boring, and none of these episodes were boring. Some of them were sloppy, some of them were all over the place, but for the majority of the time, I was still entertained, and that's the most important part. Just because I gave that last episode a 3 out of 10, I wasn't having a horrible time watching that episode. I gave it a 3 out of 10 because the story was horribly told, and it didn't make me laugh that much, but objectively, I was entertained. I wouldn't turn that episode off if I was watching it. I wanted to know what was going to happen. I wanted to see the progression of the characters. I just don't think I would ever watch that episode again, so that's the main problem with it, but ultimately, I wouldn't say I had a bad time. I think the Cleveland show is just a byproduct of its, successor, just that being Family Guy. When you're gonna have a spinoff, it's not gonna do as well unless it's like the most brilliant thing ever, so that's probably why it got canceled too fast. I think it did have potential, and if the story kept going, I'm definitely gonna check out more episodes someday. Then I think that they definitely had something good on their hands. So the Cleveland show, not bad. Not the greatest thing ever, but not bad. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe because I upload almost every single day. Again, my Patreon is down in the description. You don't have to go there, but I'm going to be trying to post like 4 gaming videos, some behind the scenes stuff, some more stuff. Just if you want some more content, it's just a place where if you want to support me more than what you already do here, I would really appreciate it, but don't feel obligated. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.